At Attin is undoubtedly the most mysterious planet in Star Wars.
It's real.
However, it's only after visiting At Attin, another planet in the Jewels of the Old Republic, that the sinister forces at play become clearer.
It's their version of the Supervisor's Tower.
We all know At Attin was never meant to be discovered, but what if its isolation wasn't just for protection? Before we jump in, don't forget to leave a thumbs up on today's video. Remember to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, if you'd like to catch more of our Skeleton Crew and wider Star Wars coverage. Now, with all that out of the way, let's get into the dark truth about At Attin.
I do remember At Attin. It was in this very room. The captain killed any of his crew that saw the coordinates to At Attin. Slaughtered them, he did. Then he ordered me to destroy them and forget everything I knew about At Attin.
We followed the group as they traced the coordinates provided by the wise old lady Kim, hoping to find their way back home. From the clouds above, their destination appeared to be the utopia they longed for, but the reality couldn't be more different. Upon landing, they discovered a planet ravaged by war, stripped of its former glory. They did make it to one of the planets that formed the Jewels of the Old Republic, but it wasn't the one they were searching for. At Attin was strikingly similar to At Attin, and not just in name. The planet's structures mirrored those of home, with identical schools, houses and landmarks, all located in nearly the same spots. At Attin also had a supervisor tower, but in what could easily be mistaken for a parallel universe, it was known as the Fallen Sanctum.
It's their version of the Supervisor's Tower.
There was no supervisor on this strange world. In fact, there was no trace of law or order. The streets were shrouded in an eerie mist, and the distant sounds of explosions echoed as two rival clans battled for resources to survive. Perhaps At Attin will serve as a stark warning to the children about the importance of keeping the location of their home, the last remaining jewel of the Old Republic, a secret from the rest of the galaxy. But what if it's already too late? What if the secret's already been exposed? That's exactly what we're diving into today. Now, we know SM-33 was ordered by his former captain to forget everything he knew about At Attin, while exploring At Attin's Supervisor Tower, also known as the Fallen Sanctum, in search for coordinates back home. The group uncovers the locations of the Old Republic's jewels etched into the pillars of the main room. All the coordinates remain intact except for At Attin's. It's here, during one of SM-33's increasingly frequent malfunctions on this planet, that he reveals a shocking truth: that it was he who destroyed the coordinates during his previous visit.
You were here? Why would you destroy them?
That's when a light bulb moment goes off for Fern. Remembering how she used to bypass her nanny droid's reports to her mum about her mischievous adventures, she decides to take a bold step. Using a memory override, she effectively hacks into SM-33, ordering him to remember everything about At Attin, suspecting it was his captain who made him forget. This of course works wonders, or at least it seems to at first. 33 reveals, as suspected, that he had been to this world before. In a chilling confession, he recounts how his captain killed his own crew to ensure At Attin's coordinates remained a secret, ordering SM-33 to eliminate anyone who dared to search for the treasure. But then things take a more dangerous turn. SM-33 malfunctions and his programming overrides, leading him to lash out and attempt to harm Neil. It's clear that these revelations are only the beginning, with even dark truths yet to be uncovered. And from what we know so far, the pieces of this story are starting to fall into place, pointing to something far more sinister. I suspect the captain didn't just stumble upon At Attin during a random treasure hunt. It seems far more likely that he was actively pursuing the jewels of the Old Republic, and I wouldn't be surprised if he visited all of them before arriving on At Attin. But this raises a crucial question: why was At Attin the only planet where he destroyed the coordinates?
Yeah, they're gone.
Who would do that?
The answer seems clear. At Attin was always destined to be the final stop on his journey. This was where he planned to settle, bringing with him all the riches he'd accumulated from the other jewels. Perhaps At Attin itself held the greatest treasure of them all, making it the perfect place to not only take what he wanted, but to establish dominion over it. By erasing all evidence of his involvement, including SM-33's knowledge, he ensured no one would ever trace it back to him, but instead of simply looting the planet and moving on, he stayed. He became At Attin's unseen ruler, maintaining control through the enigmatic supervisor system, which he devised after realizing the jewels all shared similar societal structures. Interestingly, the show had an opportunity to debunk this theory but missed it, making its outcome increasingly plausible. When Fern first encountered SM-33, she claimed she'd killed the old captain and thrown him into space, making her the new one.
Which makes me your new captain.
Yet while the bodies of the crew killed by the captain himself were found aboard the ship, there was no mention of the captain's body. You'd think SM-33, with his knowledge and loyalty, would have recognised it through the captain's clothes or personal items. The absence of any reference to the captain strongly suggests he didn't die on the ship after it landed. However, this is only half the story. What we uncover later could change everything. But for the captain, At Attin's status as one of the jewels of the Old Republic, combined with his planetary barrier, made it a perfect hidden stronghold. He saw its unique position as a utopia isolated from the galaxy's chaos, as an unparalleled opportunity even now to many of its inhabitants and to anyone viewing from the distance. At Attin still appears to be that utopia. The planet seems untouched by the wars of the wider galaxy, including the Empire. Completely self-sufficient, the sun always seems to shine, the homes are pristine and far more advanced than those on most other planets, and its transport system is seamless. Everyone has jobs, while droids handle the tasks people would rather avoid. But hindsight reveals a darker truth. Beneath its picturesque surface, it becomes immediately clear that At Attin's inhabitants are oppressed, conditioned so thoroughly they don't even realize it. This tactic mirrors the Galactic Empire, where peace was confused with terror. On At Attin, safety has been replaced with control. Despite living in a galaxy where space travel is as accessible as driving a car, no one's allowed past the barrier, and no one is permitted to come in. This isolation isn't protection, it's oppression, and those droids, branded as security or safety droids, they are in reality surveillance machines. Their heads are shaped like security cameras, symbolizing their true purpose.
You are in violation of school attendance protocols.
Like the Empire, which instilled compliance through fear, At Attin System confuses control with safety. The truth is, life on At Attin is less like living in a utopia and more like being in a hamster cage. Everything is laid out perfectly to ensure the inhabitants never feel the need to look up or ask questions. All they're expected to do is jump on a hamster wheel and keep it spinning, all in the name of the great work. The former captain of the Onyx Cinder, which, by the way, I still believe will turn out to be a legendary ship in its own right, secretly being in charge of At Attin under the guise of the supervisor, fits seamlessly into the narrative. If the planet's most pivotal role is effectively faceless, it'd be almost effortless for the captain to slip into that position behind the scenes, replacing whoever came before. This theory also perfectly explains why the supervisor declined the parents' requests to contact the Republic for help. The risk of exposing At Attin's secret, especially the fact that a pirate's pulling the strings, would be catastrophic. It's becoming increasingly clear that while At Attin was hidden by the Republic long ago, its ongoing withdrawal from the galaxy isn't about protection anymore. It's about secrecy. If word ever got out that a pirate was in control of this treasure-laden planet, the fallout would be immense. So we know the captain survived and took control of the planet, but what if I told you his story didn't end there? What if even now he's still alive, continuing to pull the strings from the shadows, even during the events of Skeleton Crew? Think about it, the captain's disappearance, the erased coordinates, and his calculated control through the supervisor system weren't about consolidating power, they were about ensuring no one could ever challenge him. If At Attin was truly intended as his ultimate stronghold, it makes perfect sense that he wouldn't simply abandon it or leave his fate to chance, and while Kim depicted the jewels of the Old Republic being destroyed long ago, we can't be certain whether the captain himself was responsible. There's a good chance he was, but long ago is a subjective term. It means different things to different people, and this is the Star Wars galaxy after all. We can't just assume the captain is human, with a lifespan similar to ours. He could belong to a species with a far greater lifespan. Let's not forget, Yoda lived to be 900 years old.
When 900 years old you reach, look as good you will not.
And then there's the destruction of At Attin, seemingly his last portal call before At Attin. It's hinted at being far more recent. According to the official Star Wars databank, At Attin's ruins have been in a state of decay for only a few decades. This timeline strongly suggests the captain could still be alive, continuing to ensure At Attin remains hidden and his empire untouched. I feel this is the direction the story is ultimately heading, with the kids coming ever closer to making it back home. Perhaps they'll even visit one of the other jewels of the Old Republic now they have the coordinates in search for more answers. These worlds could hold critical clues that unravel the truth about their own planet. I suspect the kids will find their way back to At Attin before the season finale, armed with more suspicions about what's really happening on their home world. But at this point, they'll realise that their planet isn't a utopia, but a place controlled by a pirate who's been keeping them in the dark. This will also be the moment where Jod fulfills his redemption arc he's been building throughout the season. Helping the kids take back their home from the clutches of this pirate won't just be about saving them, it'll also be his chance to redeem himself for his own mistakes.
Jod, you actually...
We're saved!
In doing so, he may finally find a new purpose, and perhaps even a new home, after losing his old one. The series has hinted at Jod being from Alderaan, a world destroyed during the Empire's reign. In helping the kids reclaim At Attin, Jod's journey could come full circle as he helps restore hope to a world that mirrors the loss and devastation of his own. It's clear that At Attin's dark secrets run far deeper than anyone imagined. Once a part of the collection of planets known as the Jewels of the Old Republic, its isolation now serves a far more sinister purpose. It's only after the group ventures to another one of the Old Republic's jewels that the unsettling parallels come to light. Identical structures, a counterpart supervisor tower. However, At Attin's ravaged by war, which confirms the need to protect their homeworld secrecy, but to what extent? And it seems like that secret's already out. There's no doubt about it, SM-33's confession sheds light on the extent the captain was prepared to go in order to cover his trail and the path to his last known location. It's here the pieces begin to fall into place. The captain not only survived, but used At Attin's supervisor system to maintain control from the shadows. The planet's utopian appearance hides the harsh reality. Its people are being watched, conditioned, and confined, and as the kids inch ever closer to uncovering the full story, Jod's redemption arc aligns with their mission to reclaim their home. You see, for Jod, helping At Attin mirrors his own search for hope after the loss of Alderaan, along with much of his childhood. Together they'll bring the true story of At Attin and its oppressor to light. Overall, I'm really enjoying the show. While it might not be the most watched Star Wars series on Disney+, those tuning in seem to appreciate its intriguing mysteries and the fantastic new characters it's brought into the Star Wars universe. Much like Andor, perhaps good word of mouth will help it gain traction and we'll see a much bigger audience if a second season is greenlit. That said, there's still plenty of story left untold and I'm excited to see where it takes us next. So do you think the former captain of the Onyx Cinder has secretly taken over the role as supervisor on At Attin? As always, drop your thoughts, theories and wildest speculations down in the comments below. Don't forget to leave a thumbs up if you've enjoyed the video and remember to subscribe if you'd like to catch more of our Skeleton Crew and wider Star Wars coverage. I'll see you in the next one and may the Force be with you.